Hi, my name is Jenny Lauren Dowden for Conduit News. Today we have Dr. Patrick Wolf joining us. As you know, he's a distinguished professor of education policy at the University of Arkansas and a school choice expert. Thank you again for being here with us.
I'm happy to be here, Jenny.
Just recently, a survey came out from your department, but a particular organization. The survey gives us a really clear picture, or a clearer picture, of what Arkansas parents think about school choice here in Arkansas. Can you talk to us about that?
Sure. My colleague, Dr. Sarah McKenzie, who directs the Office for Education Policy at the university, designed and administered this survey. It's a survey of parents and their responses to questions about their child's education in the fall of 2021. So this was, a year and a half since the onset of the pandemic. How did they think about key aspects of their child's education? And it was a representative sample. So it represented the parents of school-age children in the state. And one thing that's really interesting was the schools that their children were attending. 66% of them were attending local public schools. 4% were attending public magnet schools. 10% were attending public charter schools. 7% were in private schools, and 11% were being homeschooled.
That's so interesting. So that seems to be a really large number for kids to be homeschooled here in the state.
That's more than double the percentage of kids who were being homeschooled before the pandemic.
That's incredible. So the pandemic really shifted parents' thinking about education for their kids.
Yeah, it really showed that in many cases, they had to take control of their child's education. Their child was receiving inferior instruction virtually in many cases. Parents had to be there to turn on the computer and to oversee things happening. And in many cases, they decided, well, I'm here at home with my child. My child needs to learn. I can make that learning happen for them. And so a large number of families tried homeschooling for the first time during the pandemic, and it looks like many of them are staying with it.
Yeah. Well, okay. So what do those parents also think about school choice?
So the responses to the school choice questions were very interesting. So parents approved of the Succeed Scholarship Program for students with disabilities at a rate of 88%. So 88% of parents with school-age children said they support a program like Succeed that provides private tuition vouchers to kids with disabilities. The survey also asked about the new tax credit scholarship program that was enacted last year in the state. And support for that program also was 88%. So just as high for the tax credit program for low-income kids as for the school voucher program for kids with disabilities.
One thing that I thought was really interesting is, so respondents strongly endorsed state support for school choice options, including private school tuition. And that came from parents across the entire political spectrum.
Yes, that was the most striking finding in this poll, Jenny, is that support for private school choice did not vary based on people's political affiliations. For Republicans, it was 90%. For Democrats, it was 89%. And for independents, it was 87%.
Yeah, wow.
So across the board, across the ideological spectrum, parents supported the idea of government programs to provide resources for them to choose a private school for their child if they think that's the best option for them.
Another thing that stuck out to me was, while there's this growing support for school choice options, but at the same time, the survey also indicated that these parents are also there supporting their child's current school. So it's not an either or. It's, yes, we want to have options. Yes, we love, or, we appreciate the public school system, all these things, but we want to have the option to go somewhere differently if we want to.
Yes, there's this mistaken view that if you support school choice, you oppose public schools and public schooling. And that's a complete misnomer. That's a total myth. It's a false choice. There are a lot of families that support local public schools, but also want that option to access a private schooling for one or more of their children, if that's the best fit for them. And if a public schooling arrangement that seems to be working out well now somehow goes south, they just want to have that option.
Right.
They want choices, they want options, even if their first option might be the local public schools, and that's fine. So there isn't really this divide between private school supporters and private school choice supporters and public school supporters. It's both and.
So what, if you are a legislator or policymaker, you're looking at this, what would this tell you?
It says to me, parents truly value school choice. It's a priority for them, and they value it regardless of what political party they adhere to. That's really the biggest finding. We would expect it from Republicans, right? Because it's in the party platform to support private school choice. But the surprising thing is Arkansas Democrats support school choice at overwhelming rates if they are parents of school-aged children. And they've got skin in that game, and they want choices, they want options. And in many cases, that still means supporting and sending their children to the public school among a whole set of options available to them.
Well, thank you so much for breaking this survey down. It's really insightful and I think encouraging for the future of education.
Happy to do it.